Listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to That Business Show, and the live stream is also up now over on TampaBayRadio.com. Josh slid in here about 5 minutes ago, so all is well over there, Josh?
Yeah, we're up and running.
All right, so first time he's ever been late, but nonetheless, he held it down and got in here on time, or just a little bit late, just missed one segment.
Turns out I'm not the only one that has that problem.
Yeah, eventually I'm going to be late to one of these shows, and you're going to have to hold it down for me. So, but I'm yet to be late. I'm always early. I run on Lombardi time. I don't know if you're familiar with the Lombardi time, Dr. Murfield, 10 to 15 minutes early to all events. I mean, if you weren't at football practice by if it was scheduled at 7 a.m., you had to be there at 6:45, right?
That's right.
Yep, and he got the Super Bowl trophy named after him. So he was definitely dedicated to strong work ethic, and that's just something about me. I'm early to everything. So currently talking again to Dr. Lauren Murfield. He is an author, speaker, and leadership consultant. And to learn more about him, pwruniversity.com. Now, Dr. Murfield, your email signature says, "Leverage power, don't wield it." What do you mean by that?
You know, a lot of people are trying to kind of be a bully and brute force their way through life. They focus on competition, but it's a whole lot easier if you learn how to leverage. Mm-hmm. I like to say connect to collaborate to create.
Right.
And too many people are connecting so they can compete. I don't like to compete anymore.
Right.
There's better ways to do it. And if you think about the lever, and that's what we talk about in Power University, we talk about, you know, if you use that old, we use a diagram by Archimedes, the old, going way back to the guy that created the lever, not necessarily created it, but the math behind it. And says, on the farm in South Dakota where I grew up, we used that all the time. It's like we had a big bar, and we got ourselves out of all sorts of trouble because we just knew how to leverage things.
So you stress the importance of collaboration versus competition and something else.
Absolutely, and it's just looking at things a whole different way. Instead of saying, I can't lift that on my own.
Right.
We can't. Well, build a team. Build a team that is willing to work and help. And I mean, it's what you've done with this station.
Yeah.
It's not Jamie Maloney lecturing for 2 hours every day.
No, I wouldn't want to do that. I get tired of hearing myself talk sometimes. I like to learn from others, and that's one of the things I love about the show is just everybody I get to meet, and I'm learning from you today, just like I've learned from all my other guests.
And when you leverage, it's really easy for your customers to say yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, good point. So how is leadership changing in this digital age?
We already talked about how communication has changed. But anybody that knows that as they've worked with the millennial generation, they know that they're not gonna be that dictator. It just doesn't work because the millennials aren't going to have anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. So they have to become more of a facilitator. And again, I will go back to the radio show, go back to other things that I do when I facilitate masterminds. And that it's not about me. It's about them, and it's about helping them unleash their ultimate performance, production, and profits.
So how is leadership power changing in this digital age?
Well, people think of leadership. They think of it's all about me. I've got a position. Less and less it's about the position. It's what you can help your team do.
So what about the employees, though? What power do they have, and how can they leverage that power?
Well, they got to understand that they're no longer just employees. They're no longer obedient. That is the old industrial age. Mm-hmm. That's not what we call the knowledge age or the sharing economy. That word sharing economy says it all. Mm-hmm. It's all about sharing. And they have to understand, they have to find their place to stand where they can share, where they feel comfortable sharing, and where that sharing is welcomed.
So what prevents leaders and employees from leveraging, the power that they have, in their jobs and in their careers then?
Well, there's this thing called ego. Mm-hmm. And it is pretty sweet to get a position and think, okay, I've arrived, now they owe me. That'll kill any leadership because we hear it over and over and over, we read it over and over. People don't leave companies, they leave managers. Mm-hmm. And so to be that manager, to be that leader, that makes it easy for that for that employee to say, I love working here.
Right.
I love here, because the number one thing they want is they want to feel valuable, that their ideas, that their work is not for vain. They're not just going for a job, just over broke.
Right.
They're there. They've got hope. They've got a future. They've got opportunities. That's what everybody wants. But too often, leaders are squelching those ideas because they think they know best.
And is ego the number one problem inside a leader when you're consulting them? You kind of got to bring them off the pedestal, so to speak, and when you're consulting?
Yeah, and that's a delicate matter, because nobody, I can't slap them down. I got to show them a way. I've got to leverage it. I've got to say, well, would it be better if you did this? How would it be better? How will your employees respond? We're all working for that ultimate performance, production, and profits. How can we get there a better way?
Right. A good discussion here. Currently talking to Dr. Lauren Murfield. He is an author, speaker, and leadership consultant and creator of the Power University, which is pwruniversity.com. So you can visit that and learn more about him. And we're going to be talking a little bit more with him when we come back from the break. We got him for the entire hour here on this early Thursday morning edition of That Business Show. Also, as I mentioned, the live stream is now up and running. So if you head over to TampaBayRadio.com, I think Josh
thanks to me.
I think Josh has got his bearings on now after a little bit of a rough start this morning, but it happens to us all. So again, TampaBayRadio.com to view the live stream, and we'll be back in a moment. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hi, I'm Kelly Ham from Billmeyer Ham Consulting. Did you know that one of the biggest challenges that leaders face is getting their employees to be engaged, motivated, and producing amazing business results? At Billmeyer Ham Consulting, we'll help you transform your workforce culture from one that might be underperforming, maybe mediocre, to achieving amazing business results. You see, we realize that your workforce culture is equally as important as your business plan and your business strategy. The two must be aligned in order for you to reach your desired business and financial goals.
Carol,
Hey, Jim.
I just got this plan that could really help with our process here.
Okay, why don't you just have a seat and let's go over it.
Let us help you transform your workforce culture by leveraging your most important assets, your people. I want to know what's going on in your organization. Let us help you transform your workforce culture. Let's have a conversation.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Foundation for a Better Life.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Hi, neighbor.
Mr. Rogers passed along friendship, hoping we would too. Friendship. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
1250 winds weather center forecasts, 40% chance of scattered showers sticking to the afternoon today. Temperatures nearing the mid-90s once again under partly sunny skies, mid-upper 70s for the low. Friday, 50% chance of those storms, low 90s and low 90s in the weekend with the rain chance holding steady at 50%. Rays baseball tomorrow. It's at 7:30 airtime, 8:10 first pitch on Impact Radio 1250 winds.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Currently talking to Dr. Lauren Murfield. He is an author, speaker, and leadership consultant, creator of Power University and the website pwruniversity.com, where you can find some more information on him and his services. Now, Dr. Murfield, how did you write 8 books in 1 year?
Focus. Part of it is I was doing a lot of networking a few years before that. I got frustrated, and I says, I'm just going to step back. Mm-hmm. And once I eliminated the distractions and just found my focus, the ideas just started flowing out, and I was able to sit there. And my wife never saw me write. Mm-hmm. I did it all the time while she was at work, and I rarely wrote on the weekend.
Right.
But I found my rhythm in it, and it's just great fun because I love ideas.
And for the people that have never written a book, I mean, what defines a book? 30,000 words, and you pretty much got a book. What was your goal, and what were you shooting for?
My goal is I don't think it's a real book, and if I can hold it in my hand, and it isn't roughly 130 to 150 pages. Mm-hmm. I've written some that are 300. That's my definition.
Right. There's different definitions out there. Is the point that I'm getting at is, I mean, you can write a book. I mean, 30,000 words you can knock out within, a good few weeks of hard work. And I mean, I do a daily blog that averages 1,000 words, and actually just hit my 500th post yesterday. So I was proud about that.
Well, and that's where people don't understand a lot is that if they are writing a blog, even if they write a weekly blog, and they write 1,000 words, they've easily got a book at the end of the year.
That's a good point. They can go in there and just pull out the points and put them all together, and they've probably got the book written. They just got to put it back together.
I think they got to smooth it out a little bit and make the transitions and explore some more. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
So what types of books do you write?
I started off writing business books. I wrote about 5 different books. First one was Chevettes to Corvettes, Unleashing the Ultimate Small Business. Went into the Black Book of Making More Money in Tough Times. Then Now What? The Secrets to Sensing and Seizing Opportunities When You Need Them Most. I did the ROI of Compassion, things like that. Then I got in and I did some personal improvement ones, just some things out of my background that I've been writing, and I worked on those. But the one that I'm most proud of is a book that I wrote on my parents. It's what I call a legacy book. Mm-hmm. And I started writing it because Mom and Dad were approaching 90 years old, and Mom had all these stories, and I said, if when they pass, it'll be gone. Dad told me later a phrase that I love. He says that they burn a history book at every funeral. Mm-hmm. And there's so many of these things that we don't realize. We don't realize the legacy we leave. We don't even realize the legacy we've received. And so over the course of about 1.5 years, 2 years that I worked on this book and interviewed Mom and Dad, they didn't write a word. I was able to come down, and it was the most profound thing I ever did because I better understood that legacy that I received. I wasn't a Rockefeller or Carnegie or any of that, but we each have legacies. And the legacies are based on the stories that we have heard.
Right.
And those are the ones we believed, and those stories are the ones we live. So I did something strange in this book in that I did not fact check. And people say, how can you do that if it's biography? Mm-hmm. It's not a biography. It's their story. It's the story that they have told, because if there's some fact that I didn't get right along the way, well, that's what I've believed for all these years that I've been alive. Mm-hmm. So I didn't even ask my dad's brother about things because I wanted his story.
Right.
And that's history.
Wow, that's an incredible story right there. Now, going back to the business books that you've written, how did they impact your career? Tell me about the effects that they've had with having all these books at your disposal.
For one thing, when I speak, I've got books in back that says, look, this guy's got a lot more than what we're going to hear. But even in a one-to-one conversation, I talk to a potential client or whatever, I'm sitting there and I can pull things out of the book that I've already clarified in my mind. I've taken the time to back up and say, wait a minute, what is the process on that? Mm-hmm. Because they're not in that. Right. They need to hear it from a different perspective. Like when I wrote my first book, I had once driven Chevettes, that old underpowered car, and then I got a Corvette, even though I was 15 years old. If there was a spot on the road, I could have it. A lot of business owners don't realize that if there's an opportunity they see, they can get it.
Right.
Too many of them are like Chevettes, where they say, I don't have the power to pass, so I got to follow.
Right.
I don't have any choices.
Yeah. And you said at the top of the hour that you use the business cards the books like a business card. They work so much more memorable than the everyday business card.
And I see something inside of owners that have done a good book. They sit up a little taller.
Yeah.
They walk a little firmer. They walk a little more passionately because they say, I'm an author.
Right.
And it changes who they see themselves are. It changes their story.
Yeah, it's definitely a differentiator in business. I talk about a lot about keys to success, and the one critical key to success is differentiation. How are you different from your competitors? How can you add value where others cannot? Writing a book is an excellent way of differentiation.
But it's got to be a good book.
It's got to be a good book. Yeah,
because some people have put out books, and I go, really?
It's the same thing with radio and podcasts. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that say that put on podcasts and radio shows, but it's got to be a good show too. You can't just get behind the microphone and repeat the same information over and over again.
So you're saying you're not a Chevette?
I'm not a Chevette. No. I like to mix it up. Now, how did you ever get a chance to co-author a book with a Heisman Trophy winner? Which person was that?
Well, I first met Johnny Rogers out of Nebraska, 1972 Heisman Trophy winner, the first one out of Nebraska, the fourth African-American Heisman Trophy winner. I met him when I was teaching in my fourth year of PhD work, and he walked into my classroom. And he wanted in my class, but I already had 4 people on the waiting list, and I had to turn him down. I got a call about a week later and see if I wanted to mentor him through the athletic department because they have programs like that. And he was coming back to school 20 years after he'd played. And I met him and worked authentically to help him. That was the bottom line, was that it had to be an authentic friendship. Well, it was an authentic relationship just as a mentor. But then it went into a friendship because we tend to like those people that want to help us.
Right.
And it took over the course of 20-some years before I finally able to get the book started.
Yeah. And you have strong ties to Nebraska. That's where you did your PhD as well. And you also got a red jacket over there. If you open it up a little bit, you'll see the inside of it. You got that, Josh, there? Yeah. On the stream, it says Nebraska Cornhuskers inside that. And then your show card, you got the red jacket on too. Is that part of your brand, I could say?
Part of the brand. The other thing is my wife is from Lincoln, Nebraska. She bleeds red.
Right.
We just got a new car, and you can guess what color it is.
Yeah.
But when I walk in to speak and I have my red blazer on, I can see the energy in the room.
Right.
And some people have criticized it, but I said, you know how much money I've made by standing out?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you're a business owner and you don't stand out,
that's where I lack. I have no fashion, expertise, and I don't like to take any risks with fashion. I show up in the standard suit, black pants and everything. I would never pick a red coat. I just wouldn't think I could pull it off, or any other color.
But there's something else that I added to my repertoire just recently, and I know you had this guy on, was Brent Klaus of Ella Bing.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm getting ready to buy a couple more ties because that's another way that you set yourself apart.
Yep. I met with him after the show the other day, and I said, I asked him if he could make one for me, and I would wear it here on the show because I'm right here on the camera. So we're actually talking about me wearing a wooden bow tie here, and we could do a little cross promoting for each other. So you might see me with the wooden bow tie here pretty soon.
You connect to collaborate to create.
Yep, absolutely. Making those key connections. That's what it's all about to succeed in a business. Now, how can you help the people that you work with get their books, out of their mind and onto the into the paper?
It's the way I did with Johnny. That I've only met Johnny once in person since doing the book, and we didn't record anything that's going in the book. It's all been over the phone, and I've recorded it, transcribed it. He doesn't have to write it, and that takes the burden off of him because all he's got to do is tell his story. Right. Which, by the way, the working title of his book is 10 Minutes of Insanity. The Rooster, the Heisman Factor, No Fair Catch. It could happen to anyone, anytime.
Yeah.
And it makes compelling, but it's organically comes out of that.
Yeah.
And that's what we do is we let them tell their story We don't come into it with a predetermined purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We let them tell their story, and then organically the whole theme of the book comes out.
Yeah.
And that's what audiences want to hear and read.
And I imagine, I probably would know the answer to this question, but what is the number one problem that you face when helping people write the book? Is it they just don't have time? Is it, what is it?
They can't get their ego out of the way.
Oh, really? I thought they would just be telling you, I don't have time.
No, they'll say that. But what's really going on is they're either scared to death to jump into the process, they're scared it's going to cost too much, they're scared that it's going to take too much time. The other thing is they're scared to put themselves out there. The other ones tend to go the other way, and they try to embellish things that never happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Brian Williams of the world, where they, I was on that helicopter. Well, no, you weren't.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
so what does the process look like, or that you coach people on in writing a book, and how did you do it yourself? Did you just sit down for over a week and just knock it out? Did you write like 1,000 words a day each day? What was your process, and how do you coach others on the process?
there is a number of different ways to do it. The way I do it is not the way I help my clients do it, because I know to have the focus and to have the writing skills, and because my bachelor's, master's, and PhD are in communication.
Mm-hmm.
So I realize that I've got training that a lot of others don't. So I know how to dig deep, I identify it, and let it flow. For other people, they need some help. So what do? It's kind of like what you do. You interview them.
Mm-hmm.
You ask questions. And one thing goes to another, which goes to another. My parents would never have written a book on their own. But I interviewed them. I asked them. And then once we get talking about that topic, then they say, I thought of this, or what about this, and what about that? And then I come back and I take all these pieces of that great big jigsaw puzzle and I start putting it together.
Mm-hmm.
And they even look at it and they say, well, I wouldn't quite look like that, or I wouldn't look at it like that way. And so it's a collaborative process to come out, and then they can come back and look at it and they say, yeah, I really like what we did.
No, just one of the many services that you can take advantage of with Dr. Lauren Murfield, helping you get that book out of your head and onto the paper. He's the author of 13 books. He wrote 8 of them in 1 year, so he definitely knows how to get those books on paper. So again, currently talking to Dr. Lauren Murfield. He is an author, speaker, and leadership consultant and creator of Power University, and the website for that, pwruniversity.com. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information. At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today, or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation. What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Good morning. As we take a look at the roads around Tampa Bay, slow traffic on all the interstates in all the usual spots, including westbound I-4 approaching downtown Tampa, and of course on the Howard Franklin Bridge into Tampa. Seeing delays now on the westbound side of the Selman Expressway from I-75 over towards 50th Street. Crash on southbound US 19 in Palm Harbor. This one near County Road 39 being moved out of your way. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Think It Up.
Hi, I'm Nick Jonas, and I'm here to tell you about Think It Up, a new initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join us at thinkitup.org.
Today, a mix of sun and clouds with a 40% chance of showers and storms, high 92. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 77. Tomorrow, a 40% rain chance, high 92.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Talking to Dr. Lauren Murfield, author, speaker, and leadership consultant and creator of Power University. And you can learn more about him and his services, pwruniversity.com. So, Dr. Murfield, what is the TED Talk think tank?
It's started about 2 years ago where we mastermind radical change.
Mm-hmm.
Get together and watch TED Talk, come for lunch, meet some interesting people that think the way you do. If you're interested in something that challenges think further. For example, 2 years ago when we started it, I picked a TED Talk by Ann Malem, a 25-year-old out of Philadelphia that I'll give you the short version. She got the homeless to run.
Mm-hmm.
She started a not-for-profit that within 5 years had a $6.5 million budget by getting homeless people out running. Now, who would have ever thought that?
How was she making money, though, on getting them to run, though? What was that?
She started a not-for-profit getting them off the streets.
So people would donate and
people would donate corporate things like this. Started with running shoes. And it started on two principles, which was holding them accountable and giving them praise.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, what could, if she can get the homeless to run,
get anybody to run. If you can make anybody
and
run.
Part of it was she was out running every day. And she happened to run by, she was running by them and they started bantering with her. How many things do we see every day that we just gloss over.
Right. A lot of opportunities out there. I say that a lot on the show. You just got to have the eye for it. You got to be looking. You can't have the blinders on. You got to be looking and asking and thinking, how can I solve this problem? Or where is there a problem that other people may not be seeing, and how can I solve it? Very few people would have thought of that idea right there. So, and look what it turned into. So what type of TED Talks do you all view in the group?
Well, we view a lot of different ones. I mean, we've had that. Last month we did surfing, the joy of surfing in ice cold water. Okay, those words don't go together. Growing up in South Dakota, no, you wouldn't do that. But I watched these videos several times before I ever get them on there. The thing there was the value of pain, and how much pain is there in our small business, in our leadership, in our all this. And so we talked about the value of pain. Next month, we're looking at one on the secret ingredient to Pixar movies, and saying, what is it? What that combination? We've had other people like Elon Musk. We've had Simon Sinek. We do a wide variety of them, but every single one of them has got a tie back to business. And one guy says, well, I don't see the value. I didn't see the connection with business. I says, wait a minute, you're a marketer. And that particular one was about spontaneous absurdity, about people in New York. And he got doing all kinds of crazy things. For example, he got about 50 people to dress in khaki pants and blue shirts and walk into Best Buy and just stand around.
Yeah.
Just crazy stuff, fun stuff.
Is TED a human being, or is it just
what is a TED Talk for people that aren't familiar with TED Talks?
For TED Talks, they go to TED.com, and there's about 2,000 of those. Some of the most innovative thinking on the face of the earth. The guy started as for-profit and turned it into a not-for-profit company.
Yeah, I hear more and more about him over the last couple of years. It's really taken off. TED Talks, TED Talks.
I was just wondering, is Ted an actual person?
I don't believe so.
I don't believe so. I'm not positive. I don't know.
And the beautiful part is they're 18 minutes or less.
18 minutes or less.
Whenever someone mentions TED Talk, I imagine the teddy bear. You know what, Mark Wahlberg?
The teddy bear. I don't know. I have to look into it a little more, but I know they're a very popular tool in business. Yeah. Now, your TED Talk think tank, can anyone join the group? How do they sign up?
If they're a member of the Center Club, or if they want to visit, they just call the Center Club, and we can get you hooked up.
Very easy. So, and I also see you do something called the Mystery Theater at the Center Club. What is this?
This is fun. This is the second year we've actually, it's about the fourth year, but the second year that Gil Efron and I have been working on it. And it is all improv. We structure the scenes, but then we've got a cast of about 9 people, and we just have fun. And this one is Who Killed the Customers?
So it's like Clue?
Kind of.
Kind of like Clue. Sounds great.
And we have a lot of fun doing it. Gil plays Henry Big Cheese in this upcoming one. I'm Wendell Wiseman, the dapper consultant from Nebraska. And we're trying to figure out who killed the customers. And it's Zero Service Corporation. They're supposed to be providing service, but guess what? They don't. And we've got one character that, let's just say that she likes to believe happy hour starts at 2:30.
Right.
and we just have a lot of fun. It's a dinner theater, and they can actually make reservations through the club now. We know it's going to sell out, but we have fun. The audience has fun. And in between, there is really kind of this passive learning that happens because we look and go, am I doing that?
So is this something new that you've just started? Or have you done this for a while now? What's the history behind this?
We started, I think this is the fourth year that we've done it.
Okay, so this
has
is
gone through a couple of different revisions.
Okay.
And the last year was Who Killed the Business.
When's the next production being put on for the audience?
September 23rd is the only time this one will be done.
Okay, so you do one a year then? Is that what you do?
One a year.
So the cast is already in place. The play is ready to go down.
Tonight at 5:30 today, we're going through our first read-through.
Yeah.
And we don't even know some of the lines that other people will use.
So this is a heavy on improv though, like you were saying.
Heavy on improv. Heavy on improv.
Heavy on improv. And so how is the audience involved too? I see you got the audience involved.
The audience during intermission, the audience get to ask questions. Because the audience has to try and guess who did it.
Oh, I see. So it is literally like
there's
Clue.
only 2 people, and I'm one of them, that know who did it. The characters don't even know who did it.
Where do people sign up for to view this? The Center Club?
Call the Center Club.
Call the Center Club. A great place to meet business professionals and see interesting stuff such as these the Mystery Theater as well. So, well, we got to wrap up this interview. A great discussion. Dr. Laura Murfield, thank you so much. Good stuff.
Thank you, Jamie. It's great having me on.
Thank you. And he is an author, speaker, and leadership consultant and creator of Power University. Learn more about that at pwruniversity.com. Learn more about this program over at tampabayradio.com, and also the live stream is up and running over there now. Just scroll down halfway through the page or so, and you'll see a button that says Watch Live Stream. You can watch that from any PC. And also, please follow us on Twitter under Jamie_Maloney and Facebook.com/That Business Show. Coming back from the break, it's going to be next installment of Tech Thursdays featuring Nick Paris, Alpha Computing Solutions. So we'll be talking all about IT in the next hour. So you've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.